Good evening,
చేసింది
Mr.
I think there is a technical issue on both sides, so we will relate to that. Okay, so without wasting any further, I'll start the session. Hope I'm audible and the PPT is visible, right? Can you please say yes in chat box?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Yeah, so recap of yesterday's session, then further slides in this presentation. So yesterday we started with IS 101, then we have discussed about the management definition. It is nothing but coordination of various resources by using various processes, planning, organizing, directing, and controlling to attain the stated goals or desired goals. Then we have seen the characteristics of management. Then we have covered what are the various elements and also the functions of the management, how it works. And then we have seen where the top and the middle management and supervisory management key focuses on. Then we have seen the 14 management principles, how the management should act and maintain. And we have seen how and what type of various roles a manager will play during performing his duties. Then we have seen authority definition and its characteristics, and also we have seen responsibility and responsibility characteristics. So authority can be delegated, responsibility we can't delegate. So this authority and responsibility will go in hand in hand. Then we have seen power definition and difference between authority and power as well. Then we have seen the definition of span of management. So again, I'll take from here. So the span of management, it is nothing but a person or a supervisor or a manager. So how many people he can able to handle effectively? So how many people we can able to assign him, or how many reportees he can able to handle. The span of management is referred to the number of subordinates a manager or a supervisor can supervise effectively because of his limitations of time, capacity, ability, and nature of work, pressure of work, etc., etc. So by taking all these limitations or all these considerations, we'll see a single supervisor or manager, how he will effectively handle the people. And no single individual can effectively supervise unlimited number of subordinates. That is true. A term of span management, span control, span of supervision, span of authority are used interchangeably in the management literature. So all these words are same. Everything is same. Based on the situation, they'll change interchangeably. So there are two types of span of management. One is narrow or tall structure. There is a span of 2 and there will be 4 levels. If you see from level 1, you can assume top management. Then level 4, there will be who is the least, or we can say shop floor people. Here the span is 2 in the sense each member or each manager have 2 subordinates he can effectively handle. And there is another span of management or other structure. It is called as a wide or a flat structure. So here the span is 4. Span is nothing but the number of people, the width or the size of the people. And here the levels will be 2. Maybe the same number of people rearranged it to the wide structure, they'll become, the levels will be 2. Now we'll see which type of structure is good for the management. So if you see a tall or a narrow structure, a flat and wide structure, so centralization and a close control. Because here subordinate's role will be very low in the tall structure. Then in the flat structure, it is decentralization and loose control. Here, if you communicate to one, it will spread directly to 4 people. And here, the control is very high because you have only limited people under you. So you will have own control. Better coordination due to interlocking network and difficulty in coordination. So hence in the tall structure, any question?
Tall means the first one you are referring to the tall structure, huh?
Yeah, this is the tall structure. Yeah, narrow or tall. And the bottom one is wide or flat. Yeah. So because it is tall, here we have, the span of control is 2. So here we can coordinate easily. And as usual in the flat, there are 4 people, a bit difficult compared with the tall structure in part of coordination. Then less mistakes due to the close supervision, due to the number of people are less. So he can able to supervise effectively. So chances of less mistakes, and more mistakes due to the loose supervision due to the number of people are more under the flat structure. Then good for a staff desiring a detailed guidance, good for staff requiring independence, challenge, and responsibility. So here, whoever assigns, they need a detailed guidance. For example, trainees, for them it is required a tall structure, which means a narrow structure. There we can assign only 2 trainees under 1 supervisor so that he can give the proper details and guidance to execute the work to the trainees. And here I can say an experienced person, maybe after completion of training, we can put them under a flat structure. Destroyed and delayed communication, disordered and delayed communication. So speedy and improved communication. Because here also the communication happens, but there may be a delay because of one-to-one. Here, the wide structure, if one guy knows the information, immediately it will goes for 4. But in the tall structure, if one guy knows, it will goes only to the 2 people. By the time from the level 1 to level 4, it takes time. That is delayed communication in the top. In the flat structure, if the second level knows, so the information will be fully known by the shop floor. This is costly because of overheads, because the number of levels are more. So due to it is costly, less supervisors and less overheads. Here, because we are keeping more people under 1 supervisor, though the less supervisors are required. So there is no overheads with respect to flat structure. Slow decision making, a faster decision making. Here also, why? Because it is slow. So the information that passes from level 4 to level 1, it takes time. So by the time here, it takes only 1 level, it is there. From here, immediately to go to the L2, from bottom, then immediately L1. Here, the decision making will happen faster. And faster decision making, greater distance between top and bottom and lesser administrative distances, less pressure on managers, high pressure on managers, because here the number of people are more, they can effectively handle. So there is no pressure on managers. Here the people are more, it will going to be more pressure to the managers. Less opportunity for development of subordinates and more such opportunities. Here also same. So if at all this person has to go to become an L1, first he have to come to under L3. Again, he has to become L3. Then he has to go to L2, then L1. So here there is only one level which is between the subordinates and the top management level. The top management in the sense manager level, I can say. A small disclaimer: don't relate with the practical organization. Organization structures. So these are the concepts only. Less competent subordinates can be employed, and competent and willing subordinates are required. So because why it is less competent? Here, the close supervision will be there. Due to that, even they are not competent, even less competent also, can be accommodated in this structure so that a supervisor can able to manage. But here we need a competent team and people who are able to or willing to work so that the manager will be safe and also he will not have any pressure on him. These are the two structures with respect to the span of management or span of control, etc. Now we'll see delegation and decentralization of authority, how it works. Here we can discuss a bit more about this delegation of authority. So if you see, delegation means assigning work to others and giving them authority to do it. If you see those characteristics of this delegation, a supervisor grants some authority to subordinate who must act within the limited prescribed. So when you say it is delegated, it is not mean that you will have a full powers of the manager as like manager. So here there is a limitation will be there. So that has to be clearly informed to your subordinate what he has to do exactly. Entire authority cannot be delegated. You can't delegate the complete authority. Okay, do it. You are the king for today. So you can do whatever you want or one day CM. No. So you can't delegate your complete authority. And responsibility cannot be delegated. No manager can escape from his obligation by delegating it authority to subordinates. So that's what we had a discussion yesterday. Then delegation does not reduce the authority of manager. It is retained even after delegation also. It is not mean that okay, आज के लिए मेरा authority उनको दे दिया, ठीक है मैं आज आराम करूंगा नहीं तो ठीक है. No, still you will have that authority with you. It does not mean that okay I have assigned to him, so मैं आज थोड़ा आराम कर लेता हूँ. A manager can reduce, alter, enhance, or take back the delegated authority also. So he can reduce that, he can alter that. Maybe initially he has given authority for the 5 activities, maybe trainings and giving and work permits, conducting inspections, audits, and monitoring of any critical batch reactions, etc. Maybe later on he put it down to only for the only work permits. Okay, even delegation may be a specific or general, written or oral, formal or informal. It does not mean avoiding decisions or abandonment of work. So delegation maybe it will be specific or general. It does not mean that it should be in written or formal. Maybe sometimes oral also it can work. Now we'll see what are the importance of delegation. Why a delegation is very important in the organization. So basically the human capacity is limited. As we know that after 8 hours, we will completely, our battery gets 0. So again, we need a charge. So we'll go back to home and we'll get refreshed. Then next day we'll come to office. So hence the capacity is limited. By delegation, a manager can distribute his workload to others and he can concentrate on more important policy matters. So either other way of putting is high pay of activities. So if a manager is need not to give all the work permits like general permits or height permits or hot work permits, etc., or any inspections or reviews or any coordinating with the auditors or departments, etc., So few activities he can delegate to his subordinates, so he can focus on high pay of activities in the sense, I mean, which are critical, important, where his attention is required. Those activities he can able to handle effectively. That is the one important thing. Delegation is very much required. It facilitates a quick decision because the authority to decide lies near the point of action. Subordinate can decide easily and quickly because subordinates, they knows exactly what happens. Maybe a few managers, there be morely, or I can say corporate managers. So they are not nowhere connected with the things which are happening in the site. So the subordinates can able to take the quicker decisions here. They may lies on dependents. And it enables to obtain a specialized knowledge and expertise of subordinates. So basically what will happen whenever you delegate an activity, so they'll get enthusiasm and they will try to explore how the activity to finish, because they'll feel very good. So my boss has given this opportunity for me to learn, so they can improve their skills. And it improves job satisfaction, motivation, and morale of the subordinates. It satisfies their need of recognition, responsibility, and freedom, and it prepares a second line of command, which always useful. So once you're doing the delegation of your authority, so automatically he feel that yes, my boss is believing on me. So he will trust you. Instead of boss, he will feel you as a leader. Then he will feel responsible. He will next time, without telling itself, he himself come to you with an action plan or any further steps to improve the culture or the process, the practices which you are following internally. And also it encourages interaction, understanding, and also healthy relationship with the subordinates, and it binds group members together. So as usual, once you having that good touch with the boss and the good understanding between the subordinate and the manager, so the relationship will improve. So there is no friction between the subordinate and the managers. This is also one of the key important factor to delegate your authority. Now we'll see what are the basic principles before delegating. What should we cautious or we should be keep in mind. So once we decided to delegate, define the function, what he has to do, what the job or any target or results, what specific activity, what is the purpose of your delegation. Then delegate authority and power necessary, which is required, not fully. And parity, the balance of authority and responsibility should be maintained. So because these two will goes in hand, responsibility cannot be delegated. And unity of command, the subordinate should be responsible to one supervisor only. So this is also one thing. And some other manager came and he also gave some sort of authority to do it, then the conflict will generate. So the unity of command should also be kept in mind. And limits of authority of each subordinate should be well defined. So that is what, whenever you are giving an authority, whenever you're giving a chance, or whenever you are assigning an activity behalf of you, he is presenting or he is performing or he is monitoring. So you have to clearly tell the person who is taking that authority. An authority level principle, that is each subordinate should be a decision within his jurisdiction only, and matters beyond his scope of authority should be referred to the supervisor or superior. So basically open the authority level. So which are the circle, we can say the scope of authority. So maybe there are two sections in a company. One section, his boss is responsible, other section somebody else is there. So he can't go and do any justifications or any decision other jurisdiction, in the sense others scope of work. That is also should be referred. In case of is any decision making which comes in, or any activity which comes in within the process of this activity, so immediately he has to refer to his superior. He can't take the chance and he can do that. In scalar principle, so as we seen yesterday's scalar chain of communication, the chain of authority should go without breakup from top to bottom in the organization structure. Each employee should aware of the source from which authority and the command flow up to him, and to whom he should report his work and also difficulties. It is nothing but the hierarchy of organization structure. How, for example, end of the shift, to whom he has to report to, and whatever is reporting, he is going to whom he is responsible for. That is scalar principle with respect to communication or the flow, how the information should flow. Okay. Now we'll see the difference between this delegation and decentralization, how it works. It is a technique of management to get the things done in a faster manner or effectively to improve the relationship between the managers and the subordinates. And it's a philosophy of management. It's like a theory. Then relationship between supervisor and subordinate. So the delegation always builds, or it happens between only from supervisors and subordinates, not from subordinates and supervisor. A subordinate cannot delegate his authority to a supervisor. It is always flows downwards. Relationship between top management and other departments and other divisions. Decentralization means what? Here we are involving the bottom level people. So if you see a top management, who will be the next line of people? Managers, then other division heads, etc., etc. And it is essential and useful, and it is optional. A management may or may not disappear authority. And person who delegates holds control over the subordinates. To whom he will delegate? So whoever is reporting or whoever is under the control of the specific manager, for them only he can delegate. He can't delegate to other department. A safety manager cannot delegate his authority to a quality person or in a production guy. The control is delegated to departmental heads. So here, whatever the control in the sense we have seen managers, I mean top management, middle management will focus on the organizing, planning and staffing, and the supervisor level control on controlling and directing. There, the controlling will be given to the departmental heads. They will be more focused on. It is a process or an act, and it is end the result of delegation. So delegate, it is a process or the action. Act in the sense it is in a really what happens. It happens in the work. But the decentralization is nothing but you are giving more priority to your subordinates. You are taking their opinions. That's why it is the decentralization is the result of delegation. Delegation is possible without a decentralization. Decentralization of not possible without delegation. Simple. Decentralization means what? Wherever you are taking more interest or wherever you are involving more opinion or you are involving your subordinates purely, there it is called as decentralization. So with the delegation, we can involve the people, we can take their feedbacks, we can ask them to perform the duty, so that delegation can be done without decentralization. A decentralization is not possible without delegation, because if you are not at all delegating, you are not believing your subordinates, you are not asking any feedbacks, you are not involving them in any activity. So there is no decentralization. It is only centralization you are practicing. Now we'll see what are the few advantages and disadvantages with respect to this decentralization. One is relief top executives, so that they'll get some freedom with respect to decentralization, because they don't have much pressure. Then these are difficult for the to coordinate, because more people are involved. It is difficult to coordinate. Especially we used to see in the National Safety Day celebrations, we used to ask the people and we used to go to all the departments, or we used to send multiples of mails. Please participate, Garo. Even we used to in the end of the day celebrations also. Maybe I'm few organizations, they have well coordinated things, or the things are very smooth, but most of the organizations, it is in a tug of war, or it is a kind of nightmare for the safety department to close that 1 week, from starting from flag hoisting to till the distribution of the gifts. Motivation of subordinates, that is the one advantage, because the subordinates are involved and they're asked to respond about the improvements or any other suggestions. And expensive, the staff cost, because more involvement. Executives development, so here we can develop the people. And problems of control, so here we not able to control the crowd, the quick decisions and internal constraints. So here, because of the people are decentralized. Everybody's have a right to talk. So immediately we can take the quick decision, even we can get the information faster. And internal constraints will be there. Some kind of ideas we can't able to implement, some sort of practical issues also will be there. And effective communication and external constraints, example, market or unionism, government policies, etc. Because we are involving more the bottom level or the worker level, so it leads to some external issues. And efficient supervision and control harmful in emergencies. So efficient supervision. So once you have done a proper decentralization, and due to the motivation, they'll get motivated and their morale will improve and the culture will grow. So the control will be good with the supervisors, because the supervisor always ask the opinion of the people. Harmful in the emergency because of overcrowded or more employment or more people, even sometimes because of there is no control in the case of emergency, because multiple people, the decision makers are very low. Here, to handle the situations are difficult, because everybody will act as a hero at that moment, so difficulty to control. Growth and diversification, lose in staff service, development of initiative and responsibilities, and lack of uniformity, because of everybody have their own opinion. They'll say that, so whatever is there in my mind, that is right. So the uniformity will not be there, because of we are giving more chance to subordinates to speak. Boost the morale, so because we are involving them. Then narrow product lines, because narrow product lines can't be accommodate the decentralization. There we have only centralization practices. Simplifies division of work, and pressure increases on departmental heads. So while dividing the work is easy, but automatically the pressure increases because a number of people are more to handle. And development of leadership and importance of effect of supervisor are decreased, because the more people here, if they are very well trained, and the number of supervisors are very less, because one guy under him 10 people are there. Maybe in the tall structure we may need 5 supervisors for each team. So there the staff or the supervisor requirement will be going down. Another advantage is stability and continuity, flexibility in the people, that is also an advantage. Develops harmony like culture, and preserves grip on market. Market is, in the sense, we can say competitive behavior. That is, yeah. Then other concept, safety management, its responsibilities, where exactly the safety lies in, or where it is placed exactly. So if you see in the safety in the organization, a high level management can also be defined as defined a planned and also organized set of, and whose purpose is to enlist and maintain the combined efforts of organized personnel for the purpose of total loss control, including accidents and environmental protection in an industry or establishment. So basically in the safety organization, what we do, we not only focus on people, we also focus on environment. Whenever you see you are focusing on the human injuries, you focus on environment, you focus on damage control on properties, all together will call as total loss control. So if you see a place of an industry in the society, and safety in the industry, if you see the society is largely covered by the industries, inside the industries we have safety. The management is the center part. After the management, immediate we have safety. We'll see next in further. So what is the role of safety managements. So basically how it works in all these functions, like planning is the one of the function, and organizing, staffing, directing, controlling, and coordinating. All these functions also applicable for safety. So basically, if you see in the planning function, so basically what happens, it includes setting a safety objectives. If you see production management, so there they will set the production objectives or production goals. Then formulating safety policies. What and all they will plan? In the plan, they will do objectives, defining policies, and programming, budgeting, and safe and standard procedures. It always revolve around with respect to the safety concept. Then organizing in safety. So it includes the establishment of formal structure of authority through which work subdivisions are defined, arranged, and also coordinated for the planned safety objectives. Formal structure of authority. In the sense, we form a department, then we have a group of people, will define who is reporting to whom. Then we start coordinating with those people. Then we plan for whatever the objectives we have defined. It is about how you are organizing a department. Then staffing, it includes the personal function and recruitment and training, the staff and maintaining safe and favorable conditions of the work through the personnel. So here it is talking about the recruitment and the training part and making the favorable conditions of the work through the personnel. So how you can make your workplace comfortable. Then other function, directing, how it works in safety. It is a continuous task of taking decisions and ordering, instructing, guiding, advising on all the matters of safety. So directing is nothing but ordering, in the sense you are giving an instructions, and if somebody is doing unsafe action, you are guiding them. Then we advise sometimes, and we used to conduct the spot audits or inspections, etc. It is moreover keeping handhold of people for the activities they are performing. Then controlling. So it includes evaluation and also correcting the performance according to the objectives, procedures, and plans. And it is concerned with the quality, time, and users, cost in safety matters. So what and all, any other examples in control, anybody? What we can do in the control part?
If anything goes wrong, we can guide and like course correction.
It is considered as any audit. If anything is deviation, then why these things happen, and then guide it, and how to implement in our system.
Okay. So it is nothing but, so we have defined the goals. So, but based on the performance of the organization, the safety performance of the organization, we are not able to, or we have not achieved those goals. Maybe put 0 accidents, or minimizing the reportable accident to 15% or 30%, or we can say 1 million safe man hours, etc. But once we have not able to achieve that, then we start doing all those things. So we do analysis that, or we can assess what went wrong, where we are lagging, where we have to improve, etc., etc. Then
that will come under planning, I think, the setting of safety objectives. What you were telling, right?
Yeah, the objectives.
No, you mean to,
it is meaning
you mean
that,
to,
yeah.
sorry, you mean to say say that the KPI key performance indicator implementation, am I right?
Yes. Here we do evaluate
No, sir.
performance.
Then, sir, in KPI, how to come the cost in safety matters?
Yeah, that is the biggest part actually. Everybody's behind the cost of safety only. So if you see a safety, it is
Yeah, controlling is, yeah, as you mentioned, it is come under safety. But how can it is included in a KPI?
no, it is not about KPI. KPI, it is the one of the factor. If you see a cost, for example, any accident happened, so there is a cost incurred, right? Either maybe a direct cost or indirect cost. What does mean by
Okay.
safety matters? For example, whenever I go with a new material, or there is a new hazard which is came with my new process. So there I have to implement the safety controls. I have to bring the new safety systems in place, or I have to view the buy the imported safety PPEs. There, the cost in safety matters. That is also one kind of control we should have. That is it. Yes. Got my point?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So other function which is coordinating. So it includes interrelating and also synchronizing the different activities for achieving the safety goals. So coordinate is in a general activity for everything we coordinate for the training, inspections, audits, any toolbox talk or any accident investigation, safety committee meetings. Even we do coordination for any other activities like, as I mentioned, safety week celebrations or fire week or environmental day celebrations, etc., etc. Okay, this is then a basic structure. I mean, a high level structure of organization. So there we have a company board and managing directors. They will be in the as a top management. Then in the intermediate level, we have safety executives and the departments, and we have safety committee also comes under this intermediate and middle management. There we have managers and departmental heads. In the supervisory management, we'll have supervisors, workers, and safety representatives. Don't get confused. It is in only the high level organization structure, but different organizations will have different organization structures. Even a unit level will be there, sectional level will be there, department level will be there. So there are different organization structure. This is just for your understanding. Okay, as of now, any questions? We have 1 minute. So in the second class, we'll start with the first function of management, which is planning. If you have any questions, meanwhile, you can discuss in this minute.
Regarding this management, I mean, tall and structure, is there any guidelines or any rules that this many levels should be there in a tall structure, or this many levels or a span should be there in a flat structure like that?
No,
Or is it
it is.
flexible?
Please continue.
Yeah, is it
So it is.
flexible or any guidelines?
It is not about flexibility and all. It is about a manager, how he can able to control effectively. As we see in the advantages and disadvantages, the more the flat you go, the more difficult it is in the coordination. The more tall you will go, the more overheads you will get. So there are advantages and disadvantages according to the management or organization.